Hello, today we are going to be discussing and reviewing William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. Okay, so, when was this written? Sorry, I just saw something on the back there that caught my attention. When was this first? Okay, so 1929 is when this was originally published. This is a story about the Compson family, and it follows three brothers, and it's mostly from their perspectives, about the kind of decline of this family, which stands in as a metaphor for kind of the decline of Southern life after the Civil War. So this is takes place in the earliest parts it talks about, I think, take place in maybe the early pre-1910, and the latest parts happen in 1928. So essentially this book has a reputation for being quite difficult to read. It's split into 4 sections, and each section is dated. You have if you open it up to the first section here, it's called April 7th, 1928, so you can kind of keep track of the dates of the 3 sections it goes. And in the 4 sections, and the first 3 are each from the perspective of one of the Compson brothers. The first is from Benji's perspective, the second, which takes place in 1910, is from Quentin's perspective, and the third's from Jason's. And then the 4th is from kind of a third-person perspective, and it's often referred to as Dilsey's chapter, and Dilsey is the maid, because she is kind of the main viewpoint of that chapter. And that last section is very different from the other 3 sections. It gets progressively easier to read. This book has a reputation for being very difficult to read. Faulkner is intentionally writing in a style that doesn't make sense when you read it the first time. So I promise, if you decide to read it, you're gonna open it up and be like, "What the hell's going on here?" If you just read through Benji's section, and this seems really intimidating, but everyone who's read it has told me the same thing, and I read it this way, and it does work a lot better. Read each section in one sitting. So don't read part of Benji and come back to it. Read all of Benji, take a break, tomorrow, the next day, whatever. Read all of Quentin, take a break, then read all of Jason's perspective, and then read all of Dilsey. And then if you get later editions, they also have an appendix at the end that kind of explains a lot of stuff. But yeah, I actually really, really, really enjoyed this novel. So as far as the review goes, I'm going to say, I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. You can check that. I'll leave a link to my Goodreads page down below. Now, if you don't want any spoilers, you can go ahead and bail. I'm going to discuss the themes of the book a little bit. Okay. So I'm trying to do these quicker, so they're not all 8 minutes long. But, so for the themes of this, we discussed a lot about how there's an obsession with time, both that each section's dated. They jump back and forth between time periods. Quentin's obsession with stopping time or halting time. I found that very interesting. Quentin's section was probably the most interesting to me because it kind of destabilizes as it goes on, and I can't nail down exactly what about the last part stuck out to me, but in the end of Quentin's chapter, when all the I's become lowercase, seemed really significant. And just in my class, we've had to move so fast, I didn't really get a chance to stop and really analyze it as much as I would like to have. I mean, God, kind of brilliant. I mean, at first, I thought, okay, Faulkner, you're just being a pretentious ass, but it really is kind of brilliant, and I really did enjoy it. I think it's a really interesting look at, kind of the collapse of a whole society, and I think there's so much more to this than that, but honestly, it's such a dense book that you could read so much in every section. I know I've said a whole lot of nothing, but I would really love to hear any of your guys' opinions on it. I'm still kind of unformed about what exactly I think is going on here. I mean, I know this what happens, but I mean, you know, kind of subtext and stuff like that. So anyway, as always, happy reading, and I will talk to you guys later.